once again, thank you for joining this co-hosted webinar by VAi and Lebesgue. We're going to be talking about how AI-powered marketing enables global scale and why VAT matters. We decided to do a co-hosted webinar today with our partners from VAi because we did find a couple of synergies between Lebesgue and our customers, specifically the ones trying to sell internationally and what VAi does and offers as a service for their customers. So let's dive in and let's talk about why we decided to do today's presentation. My name is Tony Perko. I am the head of customer success here at Lebesgue. I'm joined by Demet, who is the chief account executive or head account executive at VAi.
Yeah, I'm senior account manager, and I help sellers expand it globally and help them get an understanding of all the compliance they would need along the way.
Awesome. Demet, thank you. We're going to be talking about compliance a bit later in the presentation because especially when selling in international markets, compliance and VAT collection is going to be crucial. So what we kind of have in store for you today is the motivation behind why we decided to do the webinar. And that has been us running an analysis on data from our customers selling internationally and the vast CPM differences that we've been seeing behind different markets. And apart from the CPM differences and the conversion rate differences, to really truly know your profit and to be compliant in all of these international markets, you do need to keep VAT in mind, and VAT collection between different countries is going to be different percentages, especially when you are looking to potentially scale into the European countries or looking into Canada, looking into Australia. CPMs are going to vary wildly. Your conversion rates are going to be different as well, but also the VAT and the VAT collection process is going to be different. So why we decided that this matters is that both the CPM and conversion rate are going to be affecting your cost per purchase, which is going to be crucial. So your cost per purchase is going to be determining your profitability, and then having reliable VAT collection and really input into your Shopify stores and WooCommerce stores and your Amazon seller pages is going to be crucial to know your true profit. So if you're not accurate with knowing your customer acquisition costs, which we're going to be just calling CAC for short, and your VAT, you are going to be missing out these true profit calculations for your business, and you're not going to have the right data to base your decisions on. So moving on from this, what we wanted to talk a bit more about has just been the marketing trends that we've observed in 2025, how we help our customers figure out which markets are best for your business, and then just having data that's as accurate as possible with the help of Henry AI, which is the internal AI solution that we've built out here at Lebesgue, and then why VAT matters when you are selling internationally, where Demet is going to be able to help us as well today. So I'm really happy to have our VAi partners here on our webinar. So quickly talking about marketing trends in 2025, what we've kind of done a really cool analysis on last week with our Lebesgue customers has been just looking at the total of all of Lebesgue customers versus the ones being on one of our, let's call them paid plans. So either on the advanced plan or the ultimate plan has been really the vast difference in marketing efficiency ratio. So with the Lebesgue solution, so our software and our tracking solutions, our customers have been able to actually have an almost 3.5 times higher marketing efficiency ratio when they were just using the software features, plus when they were using the first-party tracking attribution solution called Lepixel that Lebesgue does, which allows you to track your customers cross-channel and how they interact with your website and ads on multiple different channels. They were able to achieve an even higher marketing efficiency ratio. That all led us also to kind of look at marketing trends in 2025 and what we were able to observe. So what we kind of saw from the data has been that creative fatigue in 2025 has set in much faster than it has in 2024 and 2023. So looking at your creatives, they are going to enter that creative fatigue phase much sooner than they used to, especially partially owing to the new Andromeda updates on Meta, which is going to be affecting your Facebook and Instagram ads. And then what we've kind of also noticed, both on our customers and in the market trends in general, has been that these performance declines were often really visible pretty early, but a lot of businesses really acted on them a bit too late. And then the budget changes that these businesses did were more effective when they were actually done in real-time performance instead of just looking at our usual weekly or monthly cycles and spend. And that teams that have connected more data sources within Lebesgue have actually had higher efficiency in their store performance. But really, what's kind of been really cool has been that AI-driven discovery. So ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and all other chat agents have really had a big, big impact on store performance and the conversion rates being seen here from customers landing from these chat agents have been much higher than from customers even coming from brand search on Google, which has long been really the highest converting channel for a majority of our customers. What this means for you in 2026 is that what you want to do is you want to reduce the time between that kind of getting a winning signal and increasing your spend on either channel. So be it Google, be it Facebook. Don't just become a slave of thinking, well, I'm going to increase my spend in March or I'm going to increase my spend later in April, which I've kind of budgeted for. What you want to be looking at is as soon as you have that feedback loop where you see a winning asset or a winning strategy, you want to start spending more on it as soon as possible because that is going to be driving a lot of your performance. And then 2026 is definitely going to be the year of AI influence discovery, where customers are going to be using AI agents a lot more than they have in 2025, which has been a lot. Just look at your shopping habits and the way you kind of research things right now. A lot of us, well, I would say a lot of us, but in my particular experience, I use ChatGPT and I use Gemini for different purposes. But I also use ChatGPT and Discovery a lot. So a lot of my purchase-based decisions are based on ChatGPT performance. So look at how your brand appears in ChatGPT and how you appear with AI agents. That's kind of a quick what to do in 2026 and what to prepare for in 2026. But then just coming back to the international markets and what you should be looking for is this. So we pulled a really quick data analysis on CPM in different countries and in different markets and conversion rates that our customers are seeing in these markets. And what's really been particularly interesting has been the US is always going to be the most expensive to advertise in. So with an average of $35 CPM across thousands and thousands of customers that are using Lebesgue, and they do have the highest conversion rate. But then you also need to, let's say, look at Canada. Canada has more than a 50% lower CPM. Yes, they do have a lower conversion rate, but their cost per purchase is only slightly higher than in the US. Then when you look at Germany, for instance, Germany is almost at a third of the cost per mil, so cost per advertising on Facebook, but they have only a 50% decrease in conversion rate. So potentially, as a business, look at expanding into different markets. Just because your cost per purchase is going to remain the same, or it's actually going to be lower as it is in the case of Germany, with the conversion rate and CPM being as different as they are. But Demet, I think you might have a really cool comment about looking at different international markets and knowing whether they are for you or not.
Yes, definitely. That's the best point of it because when we have our client calls where we explain them the whole compliance and what is necessary is they hear, okay, oh, UK is a great market. Yes, it's the mini version of the US, but it's expensive as well. So then the second one is the European Union countries, which is Germany and France. But yes, that's the common knowledge. Yeah, let's just hit the road and go there. But did you analyze your product in those markets? Maybe it's not good. Maybe you're better off in Spain or in Italy or in Netherlands. You don't know that. So before even if you make the decision on international expansion, you have to make sure to analyze first your product in those markets and then have an idea and then decide on where to go. And I'm sure you guys can do that with Tony and his team perfectly to analyze. And then the second step is like, okay, we're going to expand into Spain or Germany. And then you have to think about the compliance part. But before that, don't just dive in deep blindly and go for the biggest markets, because it's not always the best market, because it goes always case by case and seller by seller.
Awesome. Matt, thanks for that. That's a really good comment. So definitely do your market research. Lebesgue can help with that as well. We do have AI agents apart from Henry AI that are built specifically for different purposes. Looking at different objections on your potential website, we can take everything into account. And if you are thinking about expanding into a potential different market, what we have behind us is really the $3 billion of ad spend that we're analyzing, over $3 billion of ad spend that we're analyzing for all of our current customers that can help you really do the market research and help you launch in a particular market. So with the CPM differences, they are going to be varying drastically between different markets and between different countries. And with the conversion rate, if you want to benchmark yourself in a particular country, see what the conversion rate is in a particular country. We have more than enough data to enable you as a customer to actually do that with our software and with Henry AI in particular, not even needing to sift through the data on your own. We have a bunch of customer success managers that can help you with that internally, but also the software itself is going to be doing most of the heavy lifting for you. So like the Met said, your best potential market might not be the one that you actually think it is. So if you're a US based business or a European Union based business that's looking to potentially expand beyond your borders and are looking to sell internationally, you really need to know how to approach this analysis and how to have the right data, which you can have with Lebesgue and with our partners at VAi as well, helping you with compliance and helping you with VAT collection in different markets and in different countries.
Can
So
I just jump in real quick, Tony?
absolutely.
Sorry. Yeah. So it's yeah, if you have, like, for example, why we're here together, VAi and Lebesgue, is because we're complementing each other. So when I have a call with the potential client who would like to expand into another country, we always recommend to check their products, yes, and then check out also the cost of expanding into that country. It's not only you analyze your product, it's also the cost of expansion, is your logistic costs, is your storage costs. So maybe you might have a lower partial sales in Poland or whatever in Italy, but expanding into Netherlands, have maybe you would do 10% less of sales, but the cost you have is lower, maybe in logistic on storage, then you would either go the way and expand into the Netherlands, store there, and sell from there to other EU countries. So it's always good to have the big picture, and it's great that you have two partners who can help you with all the information, so you have the right roadmap in the future.
Thank you, Demet. Really good insight and really good comments here. But speaking about accurate data and why it's actually key in your decision-making process, let me show you what kind of Lebesgue is going to be able to create for you. So number one, as you are expanding into different markets, you are going to want to know what your revenue is, what your taxes are, what your profit is. You're going to want to track every single cost for your business as you are expanding into different markets. You're going to want to segment it on different countries based on different tags that you are going to be using for these orders in Shopify. And Lebesgue is going to be able to help you with that, because apart from all of the advertising channels that you are currently using and are potentially going to be using, you are going to be able to also connect ShipStation. You are going to be able to pull taxes directly from your Shopify dashboard into Lebesgue. And with VAi's experience as well, you're going to be sure that you are collecting correct taxes, correct VAT, and really know what your profit calculation is going to be. Of course, it's not just going to be taxes you need to pay, you need to collect and pay to different authorities in different countries. It's going to be your ad spend, it's going to be your custom costs, it's going to be your cost of goods sold. All of that is going to be trackable within Lebesgue to really give you the most accurate possible profit calculation for your business. And then If you don't want to look at dashboards, if you don't want to dig through a bunch of different data sources, if you don't want to do the manual work, what we've developed and what we're really seeing a high uptick in usage with Lebesgue and our customers, helping with their revenue, helping with their marketing plans for 2026 and beyond, pulling everything into one place is Henry AI. So with Henry, you can chat with Henry and ask him questions such as how much tax did I pay in the last 30 days based on different markets? And you are going to be able to pull this data based on the order tags that you have. So analyzing lifetime value, analyzing how much taxes you had to pay in different markets, analyzing essentially everything in your store is going to be at the palm of your hand through either a mobile view, or you can just talk to Henry just like you can talk to ChatGPT, like you can talk to Gemini. This has been a really cool new feature that we've released a couple of weeks ago and that our customers are just loving. So we're seeing a high uptick in usage with Henry AI with our customers, but also this has become the primary way that I interact with our customers' data as well. So whenever we're doing any sort of intros, whenever we're sort of doing any analyses on the data, looking at different markets uh, where we can be present. This is something that we use extensively, and Henry AI has been a lifesaver. And Demet, Casey is an awesome guy. You do want to talk to him. Casey, it's really nice seeing you at our webinar, and thanks for reaching out to Demet. Really nice seeing you here again. So, talking about
Wonderful.
the different markets and talking about what you can do with Henry, what you want to do is you want to be sure, expanding globally, you want to be sure that you are collecting the right VAT amounts, that you are compliant in all of the countries where you are. And with Lebesgue, you can also have all of your custom costs and all of your different cost of goods sold input here as well, so that you do have the most accurate profit calculations on the market. So with Henry AI, what you are going to be getting is that you really are going to be cutting down on time that you currently use to analyze all of your ad channels in your Shopify store performance. But also you can connect Amazon and all of your Amazon seller accounts to have a high level overview of your total business. You're going to be able to filter out orders by different tags per country. Potentially, if you have different customers tagged differently, you're going to be able to pull that as well as customer cohorts. And by using the CPM and conversion rate data per country that Lebesgue is going to enable you to have, you're going to be able to make smarter marketing decisions moving forward in 2026. And Lebesgue and VAi are going to be your partners in that. Hopefully, seeing a lot of you use the Lebesgue app, but also reaching out to Demet and her team at VAi. So without further ado, why you want to simplify your VAT collection is you really just want to make sure that you are compliant in all of the countries. It's going to simplify your accounting, and it's going to help you make informed decisions by combining the VAT data by also using Henry AI within Lebesgue. So Demet, I'm going to let you take over the screen sharing and go
Yeah.
over what our partners at VAi have shared. Thank you again for joining us today.
Wonderful. That was great. Thank you so much,
Thank
Tony.
you.
We're learned too, right? It's not only about our perspective, it's always really great to hear what the partners are doing. And yeah, it's the business is very fast, and we have to make sure to run behind it. With AI, everything is just changing so drastically and fast. Can you see my screen, by the way?
I cannot. I think you're going to have to share it again.
Yes, let me check
Yeah,
that
please.
again. Sorry. Bup, bup, bup. Just open. Sorry. Yeah, now I can. So I think now you can see it, right? It's loading.
It's here. Yeah, it's loading, but it's going to be here.
Okay, there we are. Okay, so I make it quick because I mean the topic is big, but it's straightforward. It's not as creative as your services. It's straightforward. When you know it, you know it. Okay, as long as the regulations are not changing, everything stays as is. So we said, why should you sell in Europe or any other countries you're selling into at the moment? Is not only oh, I make a lot of money in the US, because that's usually what sellers say. Oh, I'm very comfortable. That's enough for me. But the main goal should be not, of course, money is what we all do, while we're working, but being sustainable. So for a long term, usually sellers are putting in a lot of money into their brands. They grow their brands. So you want to have your brand go out in the other countries and just, just try to be sustainable and sell over there. So this should be the target. So when it comes to that, you have a big opportunity in Europe with 27 countries in the European Union plus the UK. So why not trying out? Analyze your product, see what country makes sense, analyze your costs, your shipping costs, your storing costs for Shopify sellers, especially if you're an Amazon seller, you have FBA program, the PanEU program, where you have a lot of advantages also by saving money on your shippings to your end customers, etc. So there is a lot of opportunities. And then the second step is, okay, I'm selling on Amazon in France. What else I have? What kind of share I have in France? You can go expand into Cdiscount. That's the local marketplace. So when it comes to Poland, for example, your product might be much better in Poland, but Amazon is not so good in Poland. It's Allegro. So you have so many different marketplaces you can grow into, but you have to first analyze what markets are there, how is my product going to do there, and then get in touch with Tony, get in touch with me, and then we make sure you make the right steps towards your success. So what is needed? It's not only VAT. We always talked about VAT. It's great that Lebesgue can calculate the VAT. You can double check that. We have an API connection with Shopify, Amazon, which makes it easier. We pull your reports. But as a double check, of course, what am I going to earn at the end of the day is important. You have to know that, because tax in the US is different than tax in the EU, because when you go into a market and you want to buy a sweater, you see a price, it's like €5. That's the whole price. The VAT is already included in the price at the shelf. Versus in America, you have to add the VAT, the tax on top, when you check out. So that's all different. And when you explore other markets, you have to know what you're going to earn at the end of the day. You have to have your price right calculated, and I think that's going to be a good thing. And working with Lebesgue will help you with that. So you need VAT registration for each country you would like to sell and store. You need extended producer responsibility, which is an environmental waste management where you have to pay the taxes for the waste you cause in those countries, which is your packaging or your batteries or your electronic products. Then you would need authorized representation in the European Union, which is basically a company, a service provider who's going to be in charge of your product safety. So when it comes to the consumer, if they have anything, they can't reach you, they always have to have a contact person in the European Union to be able to reach out, because non-European sellers, sometimes people are not reachable or they close the business, and even the marketplace doesn't know they did that. So the European Union want to have a safe, wants to have a safe environment for their end consumers. And then the last step, which is one of the most important for me personally, is your trademark, because you put in so much work into your brand. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh, yeah, let me sell in Germany. And then all of a sudden, someone was faster than you and they got your brand name in Germany, and then you're going to be out of the window. So I think all of those services, the first one you have to approach when you think of expanding is making sure that you're protected, your trademark in all of the countries you would like to potentially start selling. So there is a European Union, a UK one, which are usually the common ones. Sellers usually, proceed with getting done. So The general process is very easy. You have to decide which country you would like to expand, and then the required services where we help you to decide which one there there are. Because it's not only, oh, I want a VAT for Germany. Okay, let's start. There's more services you need to consider, as I said before, like EPR, EU authorized representation, etc. But this is all going to be analyzed when we jump on a call with our potential sellers, and then we analyze their products, their websites, their Shopify, their Amazon, and see what they actually need in order to expand, and then let them know. And you can be sure that it's always the necessary ones, because we know there's so many providers. They go with so many services, and then at the end of the day, you realize you don't need that. That's not the case. We always go with the most wanted services. Also, Amazon and Shopify requires you to have. Um, so I don't want to talk about so long about the waiting times, but it's usually around 2 to 3 months in each country to get a VAT registered. So when you think of expanding in or starting to sell in April, for example, now you have to start your processes as of today, because it takes time. You want to be, you don't want to rush into things. You want to make sure that your application is good and well prepared, so the tax authorities are not going to come back and request any other additional documents, etc. So this is basically the timeline of the most wanted countries, let's put it this way. Um, I don't want to go much into detail with EPR and authorized representation. I know all the people who are listening now or going to listen in the future, you're happy to reach out, and we would like to have a one-on-one meeting, because, as I said, every seller is special and unique and has a different type of service which they need along the way. Okay, so it's not always everything what is listed here is going to be required in your case. It depends on your products and the country you would like to expand. So, yeah, so you can reach out anytime, and our team is going to be happy to help you. And if you had any question now, please feel free to leave a message.
Demet, thank you so much for talking a bit more about what VAi offers and what kind of the really waiting times are, depending on different markets. Even for me, kind of working with you guys, I didn't know that the process can take as long as it does take with EU countries. But kind of with our legislation and with our administration, it is something to kind of think about. But Demet, we do have a question from Casey. And that question is whether VAi works with China. So are you available to help with
Yes, we
China as
do.
well?
Yeah, we do. It's not only the European countries. I want to say that we have also exotic countries like Mexico, we have Korea, we have Singapore, we have China, we have Japan, Australia, Canada. So the good thing is it's not because I'm working here. It's just perfect because I worked with other compliance companies too. So I can tell that all the services you need are under one umbrella, which makes your life much easier. You have one point of contact, which would be your account manager. You're going to work, side by side to make sure everything is going well, and the communication is good, is fast. So it's a peace of mind. It's like Tony, you can agree with that. Let's say they're going to work with the marketing with you, and then they need maybe the VAT calculations with someone else, and then they have two people, and it's too time consuming. So you have a full package for them, and we have a full package, and that's much easier for your operation. So you can just concentrate on your sales rather than hustling with all these, details around your business.
Absolutely agree with you on that 100%. It is time consuming to go over everything with multiple team members, multiple different solutions that you have to think about. So just kind
Yeah.
of having everything in one place or two places if you're looking internationally and are looking for a VAT partner in VAI or an ads and e-commerce partner in Lebesgue, we're all here to help you. So Thank you so much. I don't see any other questions in our chats, but just to kind of let everyone that joined us today, this webinar has been recorded and the webinar recording is going to be sent out to everyone after the call. So once we've processed it, once we've published it on our YouTube channels, so you are going to be getting the full webinar recording. And then if you have any questions, be it for me or for Demet or for anyone at the VAi team or the Lebesgue team, we're always going to be here, and all of our email addresses are going to be available. So we're available at hi@lebesgue.io. If you have any questions, the Met, if you just want to share any sort of public email address, is it info@VAi or is it anything
Yeah,
that you
I'm
have to share?
sharing it in the chat box,
Awesome.
and all the people who are watching this also later or now, they got a 10% discount if they would like to proceed with the services anytime, even 3 months later. Doesn't matter. And please feel free, even if you don't consider to expand now, we're happy to have a call with you to explain how it goes, even if it's 1 year later. So it's not about, making the business or whatever. It's making the right step.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Demet, thank you so much. So you have our email addresses in the chat. If you don't manage to copy them, they are going to be available and mentioned in the webinar recording. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in the middle of your workday. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day. And any questions that you might have, send them our way. Enjoy the rest of your day and speak soon in another Lebesgue webinar. Demet, thank you so much for
Wonderful.
joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Bye bye.